If you're feeling kind of stuck, like your big goals are just impossible to reach, or maybe you're discouraged because your efforts aren't getting those flashy results you see everywhere, well, then this deep dive is absolutely for you.
Hmm.
We're going to unpack how subtle, quiet victories are actually the most powerful path to lasting transformation. It's about helping you redefine success and, achieve true progress.
That's exactly right. It's such a common trap, isn't it? Modern culture, it often idolizes those sudden breakthroughs, the dramatic overnight success stories.
Yet highlight reel.
Exactly. But as we've seen in our sources, true, meaningful personal growth, it actually unfolds quietly, step by step over time. It's really not about the flash. It's much more about the consistency.
And for this deep dive, we've gathered an incredible stack of sources.
Mhm.
We're talking profound insights from ancient Stoic philosophy, some cutting-edge psychological research too, and even some really inspiring real-world stories that bring these timeless ideas to life.
Mm.
So our mission today is pretty simple: to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge and, crucially, the practical strategies that will help you redefine what growth truly looks like
Mm.
and, maybe more importantly, how to actually nurture it effectively in your own life.
Because the truth is, the way we often think about growth can actually be the biggest hurdle to achieving it. It sets us up for disappointment sometimes.
Okay, let's unpack that then. We're sort of conditioned, aren't we,
Well,
to look for the big bang, the overnight success story, that sudden eureka moment that changes everything.
right.
But what happens when real growth isn't headline, but more like a quiet, almost imperceptible whisper? We often miss it entirely, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. It's fascinating how deeply ingrained this expectation is. What's particularly striking here, I think, is how much modern culture focuses on that external validation, the grand gestures.
Yeah.
We're constantly told that sudden breakthroughs are the ideal,
Yeah.
that unless it's dramatic and visible to others, it somehow doesn't count.
Right. Like it didn't happen if it wasn't on Instagram.
Pretty much. And this often leads to significant discouragement, sometimes even paralysis, when our own progress doesn't look like that highlight reel or isn't immediately visible.
Mhm.
And as our sources really highlight, this pervasive focus on the dramatic can absolutely blind us to the true, quiet nature of profound, lasting change.
It's like feeling utterly overwhelmed by a huge problem, right? Or even quitting before you really start,
Mhm.
simply because those immediate flashy results aren't visible.
Yeah.
Like staring up at a massive mountain summit and expecting to just leap to the top in one go, rather than realizing that genuine progress means taking one careful, deliberate step after another. It's a classic mental trap, I think, where the sheer size of the goal makes us feel defeated before we even begin.
Precisely. That feeling of being daunted, it can be paralyzing. Our brains, well, they're kind of wired to seek immediate rewards, aren't they?
Definitely.
And when progress is slow or invisible, it can be incredibly difficult to stay motivated.
Hmm.
We tend to conflate effort with immediate visible outcome, which just sets us up for disappointment.
So if we're often blind to these subtle shifts, how do we, recalibrate our vision? This is where it gets really interesting, I think.
Mm.
Our sources reveal that science and ancient wisdom, they actually converge on something fundamental. Tiny, consistent steps create monumental momentum.
And it's a truth that often gets overlooked in our, pursuit of instant gratification.
Indeed. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, both a Harvard Business School review and extensive research on habit formation confirm it. A journey of 1,000 miles truly starts with a single step.
Right.
For instance, research has shown that teams making just consistent small improvements to their internal processes, maybe just 15 minutes a day, saw like a 20% increase in productivity over a quarter.
Wow, really?
Yeah, significantly outperforming teams aiming for those sporadic, big overhauls. These subtle wins, they might not feel dramatic in the moment, but their consistency allows them to compound.
Ah, the compounding effect. Exactly. Eventually transforming habits, skills, even our character. Gradual changes are just, well, they're simply more sustainable than drastic overhauls. They unlock the automatic strength of habit loops within us, that familiar cue routine reward cycle that makes actions feel almost effortless over time.
It's like the concept of marginal gains, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those tiny, almost imperceptible, consistent changes that eventually produce major, sometimes astonishing transformations down the line.
Yeah.
It's not about one huge leap, but hundreds of small improvements stacking up.
Precisely. University of Michigan psychologist Carl Weick, he famously argued that breaking huge, daunting problems down into tiny, achievable small wins dramatically reduces fear and boosts confidence.
Okay.
And his theory isn't just about task management, it's about altering our perception of the problem itself. When a task feels immense, our brain can trigger a freeze response, activating our fear centers.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Right. But by making it tiny, we switch from overwhelm to solvable puzzle, activating different cognitive pathways. Every single time we solve a small puzzle like sticking to a study schedule for just 1 week, or maybe managing our temper calmly in one challenging conversation, our brains take note. Our sense of competence grows, and our motivation for the next step actually increases. This forms these powerful positive feedback loops. A boost of confidence from that small win makes us even more likely to try the next, maybe slightly larger step.
It's incredible, really, to see how these modern psychological insights align so perfectly with ancient wisdom. I mean, long before modern psychology even existed, the Stoics were already masters of this quiet inner growth and understood this concept deeply. How did they approach something so foundational?
Well, this raises an important question. What was their method? How did they actually do it? Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, he reminded himself daily that he has power over his mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It wasn't just a philosophy. It was a daily practice, an intense focus on cultivating his own attitudes and self-discipline, rather than chasing external applause or recognition. He wasn't really concerned with how others perceived his progress, but rather his internal, moral, and intellectual state.
Focusing inward.
Exactly. And Epictetus, similarly, taught that true improvement happens inwardly, even if outsiders might initially think us foolish or misunderstand us for it. He strongly urged acceptance of being misunderstood while diligently working on our own virtue, our character. The external world, he argued, is largely beyond our control, but our internal world, that's our kingdom.
I just love that image Epictetus uses, comparing growth to something as natural as a fig or a bunch of grapes. It doesn't just appear all at once, fully formed.
Right.
He says it has to blossom first, then put forth its fruit, and then finally let the fruit ripen. It's such a powerful reminder that growth is a process, not just an event.
It's a beautiful metaphor, isn't it? For the profound importance of patience and just trusting the natural unfolding of things. Just like a diligent gardener tends to seedlings over time, watering, fertilizing, providing sunlight, a person cultivates their character. Every unseen hour of practice and reflection adds nutrients to our inner soil, even if those immediate results aren't visible yet. Seneca echoes this too, advising us not to obsess over being the best right away, but to strive to reduce the number of your vices and correct your mistakes each day.
Just a little bit better each day.
Exactly. He focused on that incremental moral improvement. The Stoics even practiced nightly self-reviews, often asking themselves things like, where did I fall short today? What did I do well? What could I do differently tomorrow? They track these subtle improvements not for external validation, but purely for internal mastery.
So bringing this back to us,
Yeah.
what does this all mean beyond the ancient texts and the research papers? Our sources offer some fantastic, really tangible examples of how these quiet wins lead to surprising, sometimes even legendary breakthroughs in the real world.
Oh yeah. Take Jerry Seinfeld, for instance. A name everyone knows, synonymous with comedic genius, right?
Right.
But his enduring creative success wasn't due to some sudden burst of genius or an overnight revelation. He simply committed to writing one joke each day, one joke, and marked an X on a calendar.
The chain.
The chain. His famous advice, often called "don't break the chain," was just so simple. After a few days, you'll have a chain, and the goal, he said, is to simply not break it. He wasn't aiming for a perfect joke every day, just the act of showing up.
Just keep the chain going.
Exactly. Over years, this consistent daily practice quietly honed his craft, leading to legendary jokes, a hit sitcom, an unparalleled career. The true magic was in the consistency, not the individual effort of any single day.
That don't break the chain method is legendary precisely because it's so counterintuitive to our Big Bang expectations.
What?
It's had nothing to do with immediate fame or external validation, but everything to do with quiet, unwavering consistency. It's a perfect illustration of trusting the process.
Absolutely. And we see this principle at work in everyday life, too, often invisible until much later. Consider a future leader who spends years privately journaling their doubts, reflecting on their values, practicing difficult conversations in their mind, much like Marcus Aurelius did.
Right, laying the groundwork.
Long before they gain public influence or a position of power. Or think of a shy student who celebrates each day they speak up just a little more in class, maybe asking one question, offering one opinion, gradually building confidence, one small vocalization at a time.
Mm-hmm. Those little steps.
These personal progress stories, they're often invisible until much later when they're revealed by a significant visible leap forward, maybe a book published, a marathon finished, a deeply ingrained fear finally overcome, or a quiet leader suddenly inspiring millions.
Yeah.
And then others perceive it as sudden success. But behind nearly every overnight success was actually a slow, quiet accumulation of countless small, persistent efforts.
That's such a crucial reframing. Realizing that what looks like a sudden success from the outside is almost always the culmination of years of quiet, incremental work.
Okay, so now for the really practical application. How do we start tending our own inner gardens and building those quiet chains of progress? Our sources give us some really clear, actionable strategies.
Okay, this first one is fundamental. Start tiny. Grow big.
Tiny.
Really tiny. This means picking a micro habit you can genuinely do daily, maybe literally one push-up, writing just one sentence, or 5 minutes of meditation. The goal is to make it so easy you can't say no.
Almost ridiculously easy.
Exactly. Embrace James Clear's powerful 1% better every day idea. The key here is consistency, not intensity. The brain resists large changes but small ones. They fly under its radar. Even minimal gains are powerful when repeated. After a year of just 1% daily improvement, you'll be an incredible 37 times better than when you started. It's just about showing up, not performing perfectly. So if you feel like you can't lift weights for an hour, just do one push-up. If you can't write a novel, just write one sentence. That makes so much sense. And this leads directly into the next strategy, which builds on that consistency. Track and visualize progress, like Seinfeld's chain.
Precisely. Use a simple tool. It could be a physical calendar where you mark off each day, a simple notebook log, maybe just a basic digital tracker. Crossing off each day reminds you of your momentum and creates a genuine sense of pride in your persistence. Seeing that unbroken chain is a really powerful motivator.
I'm visually seeing it.
And journaling nightly, like Seneca did, can also help you catch subtle internal victories. Maybe your anxiety felt a bit lower today, or you reacted calmly in traffic instead of getting angry small wins that you'd otherwise completely miss because they weren't externally validated.
That focus on internal wins brings us to the third strategy, which feels really important in our current culture, of constant external validation, chasing likes and comments.
Absolutely. Our third strategy is to reflect on internal wins. Regularly ask yourself, what did I learn about myself today? How did I handle a challenge differently than I might have before? Stoic practice is brilliant at teaching us to turn even setbacks into valuable lessons. If you stayed calm under pressure when you normally wouldn't, or showed a small act of kindness even if no one noticed, acknowledge it. This kind of self-acknowledgement transforms quiet progress into powerful, ongoing motivation. It reinforces to your brain that you are capable of change, independent of external praise.
Building on that, the fourth strategy is to embrace the process, not praise. This one must be especially hard when we're so conditioned to seek external approval.
Look, it is, but it's incredibly liberating when you can do it. Focus on your core values and your identity, rather than constantly seeking external validation. Remind yourself, as Epictetus did, that you have what you came for, simply by showing up and doing the work every day, aligning your actions with your values.
Just doing the thing is the reward.
In a way, yes. Picture the person you want to become, and consciously link each small action you take to that evolving identity. If you want to be a writer, you write. If you want to be disciplined, you practice discipline. Over time, the cumulative sum of these small, process-driven actions is a new, stronger self emerging, built from the inside out.
So we can celebrate these small wins then. We don't have to be completely monastic about it, just maybe smart about it.
Yes, absolutely, but wisely. Our fifth strategy is celebrate wisely. Find personal, meaningful ways to acknowledge your steps. Perhaps a quiet moment of gratitude, maybe sharing an achievement with just one close friend who gets it, or a tiny personal reward like enjoying a favorite tea or taking a short reflective walk in nature.
Keep it internal almost.
Or at least personal. Research clearly shows that celebrating small wins boosts mood and motivation by releasing dopamine, effectively reinforcing those positive habits. These don't have to be loud parties or big announcements. Even a quiet smile of pride, a simple note in your journal, or just a deep breath of appreciation can be incredibly meaningful and powerfully reinforce that habit loop.
Okay. And finally, a strategy that helps us stay the course when the progress feels agonizingly slow. Remembering that it's a marathon, not a sprint. That perspective piece.
This sixth and final strategy is so crucial. Practice patience and perspective. Remind yourself often of that Stoic metaphor. An oak tree doesn't grow in a day.
Right.
When progress seems agonizingly slow, recall Epictetus's fig tree analogy. Learn to love this stage of growth, that powerful Stoic concept amor fati, which means love of fate or love of what is. It's about embracing every step of the journey, even the challenges and the waiting. Let time do its work.
Trust the process.
Exactly. Each uncelebrated step you take adds strength, resilience, and depth to your character. Even if you can't see the immense impact of these quiet efforts right now, future you will look back and realize these were the precise moments that built your resilience, your character, and your skill. Trust the unseen process.
Wow. This deep dive has really hammered home how growth doesn't need spotlights. It actually thrives in those quiet hours of perseverance.
Hmm.
Both Stoic philosophers and modern science, they teach us consistently that patient, consistent effort yields the most profound, lasting change. It really is a fundamental shift, isn't it? From chasing external validation to cultivating internal strength.
Absolutely. By focusing on those inner habits, celebrating even the smallest, most personal wins, and truly trusting the often slow process, you genuinely transform yourself from the roots up. Remember Marcus Aurelius's profound words. Our strength lies in our mind's power, not in external events. As you cultivate your inner garden, every gentle, consistent step is like a seed for the next success. Keep tending, keep believing in the process, and you'll find that these quiet victories will, in fact, change absolutely everything.
So what quiet win are you going to focus on nurturing this week? Maybe it's that single push-up or a moment of gratitude or just pausing to reflect on a small internal shift you noticed. We'd love for you to share your insights with us privately or maybe just reflect on them as you move forward. Until next time, keep digging deeper.